The City of Water Valley monthly board meeting, sponsored by Bank First of Water Valley.
All right, everybody is present, and we got one that's present by phone, but he's trying to keep our 500 job factory going down there, and we need him to do that. So, and he's going to participate too. So, is there a motion that we adopt? Well, no, first off, we're going to have the prayer. And let's bow our head in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings you've given us. Father, it's such a privilege that we live in America, and it's such a privilege that you've let us live in Water Valley. And Father, it's such a privilege that we can come before you who sacrificed your only Son for us all, so that we could have not only life here, but life eternal and better life. Father, we pray that everything we do may be in accordance with your will, and that we may follow your leading. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Now, pledge allegiance.
Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion that we adopt the agenda tonight?
Hey, Tommy, 1 second. The matter that I have in executive session has no personnel matters at all, and I move that we move that to the general discussion.
All right, well, we'll put that at the end of the general, if there's no objection. All right, that's what that'll be then. All right, the first item we have is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Now, the minutes have been distributed. Is there a motion that they be approved? There's a motion. Is there a second? Motion and second. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Now, next is approve the monthly bill. And Madam Clerk, we do have the money to pay the bills without any checks bouncing at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Getting close to the budget year.
All right. Is there and churches and everything were at stake? Fortunately, that was not the case. It was during the day. But that points out the tremendous need that we have to get rid of this 4K wire, and we've got the great majority of the town is served with single point connectivity wiring, so that if you get if the lights go out in one area, an excessive amount of the town is black, is put in darkness. There's no need of that. We can, with proper management and development, this can be split up, and we can have a smaller area where the lights go out. And that's the way it ought to be. That's the way. Now, this grant that is being sought is from the Delta Regional Authority. They have provided about $382,000. Sorry about that. $387,000 to match the money we got from the legislature for the transformer south of town. And we're in the process of making sure that we comply with that grant and having the pads ready for those transformers on or before October 31st. So that is being done now. That is a leading, Willie, that's a leading thing. Y'all are working on that now. We're all working together on that. That's a must do. That is not a, if we don't do it, they want their money back. And so we signed that grant knowing that. But at any rate, the Delta Regional Authority grant that we have an opportunity for would be to put forward some of the legislative money that was approved as match money, and to obtain a significant greater amount from the Delta Regional Authority to deal with critical needs that are apparent on our electric system. And I've asked that the chairman of that and all the members that wish to make a comment on this, and I appreciate, I think y'all's pay ought to be double. It'd be from 0 to 00, but you'll get your reward in heaven, I'll tell you. And I mean that. Y'all are truly doing, I think, the Lord's work. So, Brandon, would you, if there's no objection, I'm going to ask the chairman of the Electric Commission to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as the mayor spoke about, y'all appointed us on July the 1st. Obviously, we didn't take office till August 1st, but we didn't let any grass grow under our feet of trying to look at what funding opportunities are out there that could be a perfect match for the needs that Water Valley has. Some of y'all attended the work session we had on the 28th here in this room and got a handout from Atwell and Gent. And I won't recover what Mayor Reynolds just did a good job of explaining to you, but we've got more needs than we got money. It's that simple. And we have an opportunity with the Delta Regional Authority right now, because of the funding cycle that they're in, to seek $2 million that will go for projects that take care of, as the mayor spoke about, being able to isolate the outages where they are, so that you don't have right now 40 miles of the system that are all on, subject to being out at the same time. This grant would help fix that section and put in the proper equipment on the electric system to fix that. Secondly is to go down to the transformer that is, and substations that's on Gore Circle, the only point of connection that we have right now, and to do some maintenance upgrades to that, transferring some 70-year-old system into modern systems that the city has been able to get a hold of. And last but not least is the conversion of the 4K system to a 13 kV system. Put this in your mind for just a minute. We're literally operating electrical infrastructure in the city of Water Valley that is from the 20s, 30s, and early 40s. That has a 9 times amount of waste of taxpayer money. So when we buy power from the Tennessee Valley Authority, it comes into the city of Water Valley on Gore Circle and is pushed out to the system. We have 9 times the amount of wasted energy because of that old infrastructure. And so this grant would be for $2 million. Now, we're not required, in pure candor and honesty, we're not required for any local match, but we felt like the right thing to do was to show that we're willing to put our money where our mouth's at. And the Electric Commission met last night and voted to appropriate $400,000 of the existing legislatively appropriated funds that are sitting in the bank for this purpose. That gets us to the 20% match that is the standard that DRA has out. We don't have to do that, but again, it is a good faith measure at the end of a funding cycle to think that help us to be able to be more competitive in that process. And so we need your authorization tonight. The funds will, by statute, now that the Electric Commission is established, if you remind you in 21-27-19, the funds that go to the electric system are appropriated by the Commission. So under a grant proposal, the grant would be applied for by the city. Kagan would need authorization tonight to apply for that grant on behalf of the city with those funds earmarked to be appropriated out per the grant guidelines for the Electric Commission to carry out the work that would be enclosed in. And looks like from my notes that if y'all approve this application tonight, that will be done pretty quick. We've already probably 80% there, 70. We're a good ways down the road. And we have told the Delta Regional Authority that we could get that to them by April the 15th. They said it'd take 1 week for them to do their initial review on it. Once they do their initial review.
September.
No, by the 15th of August.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
You said
15th
April
of,
15th.
oh, I'm sorry. April, August, it's all the same. August the 15th. And then by that time.
How about tomorrow?
Yeah, well, we can get it in. By August, we should be able to get a turnaround pretty quick on that. We had a call on July the 21st. Again, this was before we took office, but we were trying to get ahead of the game. The electric department is sort of like that old country song. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And we've got a lot of work to be done. So we began early on that and had a call on the 21st with Dr. Corey Wiggins, who is a National Executive Director of the Delta Regional Authority, Thomas Hudson, who is the Chief Program Officer out of their Washington office, and Amanda Allen, who is stationed here in Mississippi, and she is the Program Director for the Critical Infrastructure Fund. That is the fund that we would be asking for these, for you to come back and apply for the grant in the name of the city with it earmarked designated to the Commission for appropriation under the guidelines of the grant. And tonight, we're seeking authorization for Kagan Coglan to be able to apply for that on behalf of the city. Okay?
So, good evening. Nice to see the new board. I'm here as the Economic Development District person that runs that function for the county. Those of you, well, hi Herbie. Generally, I try to come here and not ask for any money. But if there's an opportunity, I'm here to take a run at it. And the same thing applies if you see an opportunity and you'd like help for the city, please come to me. I'm here to help. But Delta Regional Authority in particular has been a huge friend of Water Valley. In the last 18 months, they've contributed for the Transformer project, $387,000. They're contributing $325,000 to the Industrial Park project, which we will be back here on the 19th to open bids for. So they're one of the 5 agencies that are helping with that. They also just awarded Base Camp a large $300,000 grant for the next 4 years, which we're very thankful for. This would make a huge ask to DRA, and it's competitive. So the story of Water Valley's need is going to be very important. And what I just need in your minutes is you are giving me permission to ask on your behalf for $2 million. And we're going to do our best. And if you get it, then you will again have to meet and agree to accept the grant. But right now, I just need a head nod that, yep, let's take a swing.
We're gonna need a board order. And
Yes, more than a head nod.
we'll give it. Let me add, what about other members of the commission? Mr. Allen, Mr. Weeks? Y'all wanna make any comment? We're glad to have y'all. And we think that the commission is unanimously in support of this, is that correct?
We voted 4-0 last night.
Okay. Well, you know, I often feel if you don't ask, you certainly won't get. And we definitely need the money. And we're gonna make it one way or the other. But we wanna,
Maybe.
we're gonna make it.
Maybe.
But we need this. We need it, and we need to try to get everything we can. So, is there further discussion? If not, is there a motion that this be approved? All right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Herbie said aye. All opposed? That is a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
And do you want any other comments or anything?
We got a report later. It's gonna
You
be
got
much
a
longer.
report later on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First death and then the judgment. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's do it.
Y'all
Let's
want
do
us
it.
to come every month?
We do. All right, next, Main Street report.
Chris asked me to give it for him because he could not be here tonight.
Go ahead.
If you want me to read it.
Well,
Everybody has one.
If they already have
If
it,
you want to read it, that's perfectly fine.
no, I
with
don't
me.
think so. I tell you what we can do, we can just, if everybody's agreeable, we can
Everybody should
just
have one.
make sure that this appears in the minutes. Is that agreeable? Okay. So let's do that. Next, we have Planning Commission report, and now, we have not studied that to reappoint the committee. Can we table that till, we'll have to have a special meeting, and we'll be thinking about that, okay? Is that agreeable? Okay,
Mayor, I'm working on that.
okay, all right. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm working on that. Hopefully we'll have a name tomorrow.
Okay, well, that'll be good, and we'll, as I say, we'll have a,
I have another one drop out.
well, we've got two, so we'll work on that. And thank you so much, and we'll do that. Next, we have do we have a Historic Preservation Committee report?
I do. I think that Miss Robert Fisher's gonna be dropping out.
Oh,
She's good, but I think she's gonna be dropping out.
well, can we, this is a report. Is it agreeable if we have this put in the minutes and as a report?
Yes.
Agreed to. Now, they have been active, and so she is not seeking reappointment to the commission, so we will certainly have a loss there, and that'll need to be, we'll need to carefully consider that. Next, we have the Electric Commission report.
Thank you, sir. So, as you know, in the ordinance that you, or resolution that you passed appointing us, you're asked to come and report for the first 6 months every month, and then by statute, every quarter after that, and then 1 year as an annual report. So, be careful what you ask for. We want to make sure we go in depth, and the law requires us to give you a full accounting of our doings, and so I'm going to do my best to do that tonight. We've already mentioned that prior to our taking office on 7/21, we had a call with the Delta Regional Authority. You just approved that grant related to that, and we will move forward with it. On the 22nd, we met with, a few of us met with the electric department officials to look at pre-planning for the Watermelon Carnival, to make sure that anything that would be operationally challenging for the department was looked at ahead of time, because we were very cognizant, thanks to Commissioner Allen's flagging this on the calendar, the fact that the day that we took office was the day that the Watermelon Carnival came on. So in trying to do a good job as a body of public servants, we met with Dr. Weiss, Commissioner Allen and I. We were not a public body at that time, but just got a briefing related to the operational challenges that may be out there related to Watermelon Carnival, and there did not seem to be any. Some of y'all in here, many of y'all at this table, attended our work session on the 28th, Monday the 28th, in which TVA and Atwell and Gent, who is the engineering firm for the city, came and did a long, very long, in-depth presentation. It revealed many things to us that I think are very important, but the key thing that the public needs to know, and you as a board need to know, is that in the professional opinion of our engineer, and it's not just him, but anybody that really has looked at this system, that this system is suffering from decades of neglect due to underfunding. I want to say that again, decades of neglect due to underfunding. Some management issues, but underfunding. And we've got to work together at the time in which we find ourselves on the calendar to work on that, because you're going into a budget session. Y'all have 1 month and 10 days to adopt a budget per the state law, and we've got to work together on that. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. One of the things else that jumped out, and we're glad to make copies of the Atwell and Gent report to you. You need to know this, although it's under our jurisdiction now and our responsibility and our appropriations. You as a city board need to know it as you go about approving these grant applications and things. A little over, we'll say 6.1% of the electricity bought by the city of Water Valley is lost before it ever makes it to an electric meter. From the time we buy it from the Tennessee Valley Authority to the time in which it goes out on the system, it's lost, unaccounted for, and that's called line loss. It happens for a multiple of reasons. Mr. Atwell says the number one reason is the fact that we have been woefully behind in vegetation management. Both in-house operations for vegetation management, contract operations for vegetation management, because when those tree limbs lay on those lines, it's absorbing electricity. It isn't going through a meter, we're receiving no revenue for it. That's a big problem. Secondly is the fact that in 2022, the city started a process, the electric department management started a process of installing advanced metering infrastructure. Those are commonly called smart meters, where the ability from a central station to read those meters and monitor and help to show customers their usage is part of the package when you do it at advanced metering infrastructure. That started in 2022. There's an article in the Herald. These meters will all be on the system in 1 month. Well, we're here in August of 2025, 3 years later, and only 80% of those meters are in fact in place today. Second leading cost, equal to in some share of tree trimming, of what we are losing in line loss today, is the fact that we, as an agency, as a department, have not completed that task. Now, when I spoke to Mr. Atwell this morning, who is our engineer, he said easily we should be able to take employees who are solely dedicated to metering, one of which that's their sole description job, and that we should be able to do 50 of those meters a week, easily. That is according to Mr. Atwell. He said that's a conservative number. So the commission is going to be looking to how we can hold accountability within the agency to ensure that a project that's 3 years old gets completed within the next 30 days, hopefully, so that we can begin seeing those savings. That is just one component of the loss that we have each year, but it's a high priority component. Secondly is, you've already heard it, is the 4 kV system that is costing and contributing to this, and we've addressed that with the grant. Secondly, one of the things that we had a hard time really with good straight conscience going to DRA and asking for this $2 million because in 2022 funds were appropriated for the substation projects. They're called substations. They're truly, and by nature they're substations, but they're transformers. One behind the hospital, one that is to be placed at Solero. We're 2 years and 9 months into that project. We have till the end of October 31st to get that done, and nothing in any of those projects benefit the citizens or customers of Water Valley Electric one penny, one benefit at all. No work has been completed, no connections have been made, only one pad has been done, concrete poured, and one transformer set. It's not connected to the Tallahatchie Valley Electric Power Association. We began immediately on Friday, making it a priority within the department to get moving on this project. How can we go ask somebody for $2 million in grant money when we, in 2 years, 9 months, have not completed what they've already given us to get done? And that's a management issue that we will be addressing. But we have those issues right now. Now, fortunately, today crews began scraping back the dirt, hauling in the dirt to get that moved. But that has to be a priority, because if those funds, if that grant is not completed and that work is not done, we will have to pay back the entirety of $387,000 of Delta Regional Authority money. This is inexcusable. There is no word around it. We have had 2 years and 9 months to get this done. And this commission is committed to seeing this work completed and not have to pay these dollars back and not be in the danger zone to funders who are giving us grant money to fix our system. And 2 years and 9 months later, we still don't have it done. There's a lot of work to be still accomplished, but we feel like easily that that can be done, and it will be a priority for the agency to be done. Let's look at the things that we found when we did take office on August the 1st. Some of the things that you need to be aware of, because you would have had jurisdiction over most of this. We've only been there since Friday, and many of y'all were there for years, some of you here for a month. But what we did find is that there is no fixed assets inventory or property tags on anything whatsoever within the electric department. So where commonly a piece of equipment in any other city agency would have a property tag numbered, you would know where a computer is, you would know where a chainsaw is, what a truck number is. None of that exists, period, full stop. There's nothing for us to go on. I'll tell you how we're dealing with that in just a minute. We found that many of the vehicles in the agency, 11 vehicles right now, are under the jurisdiction of the Electric Commission now, have been for 3 days, do not have, as required by state law, the proper markings on the doors. They don't have the proper license plates that are required by state law. And why this ought to be important to every one of you at this table is that before the end of this fiscal year, you're going to have to answer questions in a municipal compliance questionnaire to the auditor that says, are vehicles properly marked? Now, we're trying from our department side to get it to where you can answer that in the affirmative. We don't control other departments. But from our side, we want you to be able to answer that legally and honestly, that we are following you. Another question on that municipal compliance questionnaire is whether or not you have fixed assets inventory tagging. The answer to that right now is no. I'll tell you how we're dealing with it. I can't speak for other departments, but I can tell you how the Electric Commission is going to deal with it in just a minute. The other thing we found is that bills are not properly accounted for within the budget. Quite frankly, the budget categories that are adopted are a complete maze to try to figure out what is going in, what is coming out, and how. One thing that I would just draw your attention to that jumped off the page at me is we have no accounting for deposits that are paid back to customers. So if a customer comes in, redeems their deposit, pays their bill, they get their check back, there is no expenditure in our budget that shows how that deposit is in fact being paid back. And that's just one of many, many issues in there, including miscellaneous items that right now, when the budget should be 75% where we are in the fiscal year, and the fact that we have true up numbers through the 9th month, that tells you should be at 75% of what's been expended. They're in the 440% range. While at the same time, in the department's budget, there's $14,000 allocated for training. We hear a lot about training. A lot about the need for training. I think the commission unanimously agrees we need training. We promote training. We want it. But yet with that dire thing being said, only $4,000 in this entire fiscal year has been spent on training. While there is $50,000 for purchase of a vehicle, that's not been done. And it only gets worse from here. So don't get too excited. So the day before we took office on the 31st, I was contacted by the general manager to make me aware of a situation that's not the first time this happened. It may be the first time that any of you at this table know it's happened, but you should know it's happened. Where that we were in danger in the city of overdrafting our account at the electric department, our operating account, our checking account, if you will, at the electric department, because we could not pay the Tennessee Valley Authority the $476,000, I believe, dollars that was going to automatically draft on July the 1st. So what had to happen? Now, according to Ms. Floyd, this is not the first time it happened. It happened in February of this year, so this is not new. And Mayor, you inherited a lot of this, so you're trying to fix it. But this is a fact, and you need to know it. You need to know it. The people needs to know it. What had to happen was, luckily, our largest customer, who shall go nameless, but you can figure out who that is, came in to pay their bill, and the deposit covered it, and we did not have to transfer funds to keep from overdrafting your electric account. Let that sink in a minute. This is the power we buy from the Tennessee Valley Authority, and we're almost in the point we're overdrafting. This is serious stuff, and it's putting us in a serious position. We found out today that there's one employee of the electric department that's been accepting cash payments, people paying their bill at the window. There is no bond for that person. Now, we've been here since Friday. Today's Tuesday. This person's been accepting cash for months at the window, in complete violation of state law. And please, I beg you, just as a citizen, read the municipal compliance questionnaire. It's a real good guidepost of what we should be doing and not doing. And so we sent a directive today to the manager that that employee be removed from taking any cash payments until such time as Ms. Snyder, who graciously got right on it, can get that employee bonded. That's a violation. And so we got a lot of problems. We could talk about them all night. We spent 2 hours right here in this room last night, by the way. We didn't get any overtime pay for it. We didn't get paid to be here. We did it to try to fix this system. And so what are we doing? What are we moving forward on? All of the commissioners were bonded thanks to the work with Ms. Snyder again before we took office and paid any bills. That was accomplished per your resolution. The board met last night, adopted general bylaws for officers, adoption of meetings, and the like. I was elected chairman, Mr. Allen was elected vice chairman, and Dr. Vicki Person was elected as secretary of the commission for 2-year terms. We approved claims number 412 through 453. Some of them we didn't want to, quite frankly. Just as many questions as you had, Joe. Issues on there of credit cards and that being billed out as MasterCard and the vendor being MasterCard. You and I know that's not the way in which a public claims docket should be done, and we got some clarification to the point that the commission could be satisfied that we are, at least in as much of a rudimentary sense as we can, following the law. We issued 3 requests for proposal last night, one for an attorney, one for a new auditor, I'll get to that in a minute, and one for a special engagement with an auditing firm to create a fixed assets inventory and do the tagging. So whatever that cost is because that work has not been done. Whatever that engagement costs the ratepayers, customers, taxpayers of Water Valley is because that has not in fact been done. We're going to make sure it gets done. And we put a short deadline for the RFP for all 3, both the attorney, the auditors, and the fixed asset special engagement. To further give you some information, whichever auditing firm we select cannot ethically go and do this special engagement for the fixed assets auditing. It just is not good practice. We also, at the same meeting, dismissed the current auditing firm being used by the electric department, ATA, out of Jackson, Tennessee. They've been doing the audits for over 8+ years. And when I spoke with Mr. Matt Wood, he indicated he didn't know that state law in Mississippi required there be any fixed assets tagging or properties be done. I think the commission made a determination with that we needed to go in another direction. Not just only that, but in the fact that good practice is you change up your auditors from time to time. We passed general authority last night to authorize, because we do not have yet a separate fund account, checking account for payment of bills that will be appropriated by the commission, but to keep operations going, to make sure that how Ms. Snyder and Mayor Reynolds are carrying that out will continue right now on a temporary basis until that can be stood up. We issued a directive to Jeff Atwell at Atwell and Gent to begin immediately going out and soliciting bids, doing the advertising necessary for the inspection, treatment, and replacement of poles. We are woefully behind in this department in pole replacement. And as a concern for taxpayers, we're also woefully behind on keeping these poles treated as to not make them age and rot. We've got to correct that. It is a simple fix. I will say this, we're using, Mayor, the $813,000 that's accumulated in the funds that you were able to work with the legislature and get for that purpose. Those purpose funds, just for the benefit of the public, say to support the deployment of broadband, fiber broadband, or fiber deployment. You can't have fiber if you ain't got poles. And you can't have poles if you don't inspect the poles. And they won't live if you don't treat the poles. And you won't make it if you don't take the bad ones out. So we made a factual determination last night that that is in compliance with fiber deployment. It's already being utilized under a memorandum of understanding between the city and Tallahatchie Valley Electric Power Association. And we're going to expedite that process. We'll be able to open bids on the 16th of September under the process that we have. To put that in context, Mayor Reynolds was able to get this money well over 3 years ago, and it is set idle with nothing happening but interest accruing on it. And so we don't want to take your work for granted. We want to get those dollars out and get them appropriated and get them moving, and we're going to do that on the fast track. We also took on the issue that we've heard from many customers about the fact when they come to City Hall during 12 to 1, offices are closed. Obviously, we don't have jurisdiction. Oh, I see a head nodding in the crowd. Obviously, we don't have jurisdiction over any other offices, but we do have over the electric department. The commission gave a directive last night that we would start rotating employees in and out as to who goes to lunch. This is a very common practice in city halls and courthouses all around the state of Mississippi. I've quite frankly never been to one where from 12 to 1 a citizen, a taxpayer, cannot access government. From our standpoint at the commission, we want to be open for customers. We intend to create a culture in this agency of customer-centric policies. And that starts with making sure that when someone who is working for a living at one of our plants around here has an hour for lunch and they need to come cut on their power or pay their bill, they're not met with a slammed door. So we have given a directive to the staff for the office to be open from 12 to 1. There's been some issues about that related to these employees being the only ones here. I don't know, what the city wants to do about their side of this building, but from our side of it, we're going to make sure that it's open from 12 to 1 every day so that citizens can access it. Customer portal online. Right now, this begun before we took office, but we will be working to roll out how customers can pay online their bills. Luckily, in the negotiated contract right now, they're paying around 4% to pay with a credit card or to pay online with a debit card. We don't have any choice in that, y'all. It's not our decision as to whether you pay that on top of or below. It's the state auditor's guidelines that it has to be on top of whatever is owed to the public. And so luckily, the negotiations got that from 4 down to just under 3. That is a little bit of a savings. But more importantly for the customer, and I want to go back to this, you're going to get sick of hearing us say this, customer-centric operations. We are operating an electric utility in the age of Amazon Prime. And we need to be as engaging with our customers, who actually are the owners of the system. They own it. You just entrusted y'all on the board to appoint us to do it, to make sure that we are doing the things that matter to them. So this will also include a smartphone app where someone will be able to go in and pay their bill straight from their phone. We're going to explore the options of putting a kiosk down at the Shell station where it's 24-hour access for people to pay their bill. Believe it or not, there are folks that have to work till 2 o'clock in the morning and they may need to pay early. We should be wanting to be as friendly and as nice whenever you hit this window or whenever you interface with this department as we can with customers. Having an online portal is a big way in which to do that. Next up for us, we'll be meeting with the Tennessee Valley Public Power Association, which is the trade group for all of the power utilities, public power utilities within the Tennessee Valley. All 135 of them are a trade member of the TVPPA. I know we got a lot of acronyms in this business. And one of the things that we're going to explore with them is they have a specialized services on human resources, management, and looking at pay structures, job descriptions, things in which bring order to the department so that we can look to you as governing authorities, but it's really our responsibility now to the taxpayers also to ensure that we have the best policies in place and that we're dealing with things in the way in which that we should be. I brought you a little reading material tonight, and that is a federal lawsuit that was filed on, it looks like, May the 1st of this year from the Tennessee Valley Authority versus the City of Holly Springs, Mississippi. And I just invite you to take time and read that lawsuit and read the particulars in that lawsuit, especially those related to payments in lieu of taxes, which are going to be an issue as you go into your budgeting process this year. It is going to be an issue. I bring that up to you because it's not a laughing matter for us, because the state statute says very clearly that that if you have debt, and our department has $370,000 in debt. You didn't ask me for this, but it's $321,316 for those meters that hadn't been completed in 3 years, that we still lack 20% of them getting done, and a $49,511 unmarked, unlicensed plated bucket truck. So we have $370,000 of debt right now. And when you visit the statutes related to how payment in lieu of taxes are made, there's a certain statutory punch list in which that has to be done. And I won't belabor tonight's meeting to go through that. I know that you want to obey the law. And we want to too. And we have got to address this in some manner that is equitable, that is fair, that is going by the statute. And I raise your awareness to this. My first call on Friday morning when I found out from Miss Floyd that we might bounce a check. Now let that sink in. We might bounce a check on your electric system because we don't have funds. My first call was the Tennessee Valley Authority to Tyler Wilson, who's the Director of Regulatory Assurance, because I come from a regulatory background. And I promise you, when you call the Public Service Commission and fessed up early, it was a lot different conversation than if we had to catch you. A lot different conversation. And I talked to Mr. Wilson. I said, Mr. Wilson, we want you to understand, here's where we are. When you read this Holly Springs lawsuit, we're only a few steps away from the very thing that happened there. It really began to go downhill when they did what? Missed their payment to TVA. And he said, well, I want to go ahead and notify you, we are going to increase the regulatory scrutiny at the Water Valley Electric Commission now due to these fact patterns as to what is going on. And by the way, if there cannot be a negotiated rate of settlement on the payment in lieu of taxes, if TVA intervenes, he wanted to be very clear about that. If they have to intervene in this situation, they will take that to zero. So it's $615,000 now. So I think it's in the interest of everybody at this table and everybody on the Electric Commission that between now and when you set this budget, that we find a way to work these issues out. We're all good citizens, not in any form wanting to hurt anything within any general fund or anything else, but there has got to be fairness. And there's got to be some way in which it's a step back. Secondly, the thing I think the Commission will be coming to ask for will be that future calculations of the pay exempt improvements to the system. Right now, you have got a, for lack of a better term, a scheme in which every time there's an improvement made on the system, the payment in lieu of taxes goes up for improving the system. You're penalized for doing the good. So the allocation, again, started long before Tommy Reynolds sat in this chair. Started long before anybody sitting at this table was even thinking about being in government. But when that started, we have now gone from an average of $300,000 a year to $615,000 a year. And we have no confidence whatsoever of how that number is calculated and how that is arrived at. So to put it in a better terminology, we've got a mess. And y'all are right there in the boat with us as we try to climb out of it and figure out how to A, obey the law, B, be financially prudent on both sides of the ledger here and work through this. Because if there's an intervention by the regulator, it could easily go to zero overnight. This is not something that's funny. This is not something that's joking. This is not something to say, oh, that's just the way it is. And listen, if you want to say all the way it is, go tell it to the federal judge when you carry it to federal court. So I think it would be in all of our interests to spend the time due to work through these issues so that we get to an equitable settlement and we work this out, being fair to everybody. being fair to everybody along the line. But you know in your heart this cannot continue. You know you can't. This city's been under a declared emergency because of the electric system since November of 2024. And yet, the latest calculations show we would transfer $626,000. How much of a real emergency is it if we can afford to send $626,000 out of the department? Other thing that's come to our attention is a joint cost study. That's where we share costs across departments. We pay, for instance, $1,750 a month, that abouts, for the dispatch funds. The Commission's working right now on a way in which that would drop from a cost to the Commission of $1,700 to $700. And joint cost sharing has not been updated in this city since February of 2013. The last joint cost study, how we share expenses across departments, has not been updated in 12 years. We're meeting on the 27th of this month with USDA Rural Development State Director Dane Maxwell, who incidentally served as a Public Service Commissioner for the Southern District, the same time I did, to look at funds that are available there. And then on the 14th of this month, I'll be meeting with the Chief of Staff at Mississippi State University and Bagley Engineering to look at how there can be interns that could be used with Atwell and Gent to help expedite the engineering side of what we're trying to do. We have to have engineers to do it. Happy to take any of your questions. I know that's a lot of information. I know it's a lot to try to cover. Trust me, we sat in this meeting 3 hours almost in a work session and 2 hours last night. You don't make these decisions like that. And so it's taking a lot of time. You had some questions. Does anybody have a question? Let me just start with that.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get a copy of that report?
Which one?
From you, from Atwell and Gent.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
That's all public record.
It's all part of, yeah, you feel free to have a
You
copy.
pay for it, you get it. And now, we have some problems, and they've started, it's been a while.
20 years, it's been $9.2 million has been taken out of the system in 20 years.
But they've got to be solved, and that's what we're like, and if we can solve these problems, the folks coming in, and, this community has such a wonderful future. The only way Water Valley won't succeed is if Water Valley, if we have a circular firing squad and turn on each other and don't solve these problems. These problems are solvable. One way we can do it is have more housing, more development in this town, more business development. A rising tide lifts the boats, all boats, and we need to be welcoming. That's one thing. Another thing is we do need, a cocaine addict. You can be, or a heroin addict.
Where are we going?
What I'm telling you, you can get addicted to something you don't need to. And you cannot run the city off of electric revenue in an excessive amount forever.
That's correct.
And that is an addiction that has to be broken. And so it must and will be broken. So I think that is, we got a Crown bill on here, but later on. But what I'm saying, we can do that. Now, heroin addict, you gotta, it takes a while. But it can be done.
And I think the way in which y'all can do that is you make the request of the commission to pay the fee in lieu. Vote it, put it to a vote. If you think that that's the right thing to do, then make motions each month to vote to ask and request for those dollars. That's an easy way to go through that. If you find that you're following the law to do it and you don't want to negotiate it down, then simply spread it on your minutes. But we've got to get to some type of settlement on this that starts working through the law.
Well,
because we're not doing it now.
We'll work together, and we'll do what we need to do.
Well, I presume that, and I know you are because you're highly organized, but once you get the study back from the accounting agency, that you would submit to us what y'all think would be your fair portion.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, and we're going to consult TVA on that.
Right.
They have come back and said essentially that if the city and the electric commission reach a settlement as to what that should be, that they would look at that under the fact that we have all the issues that are presented. If they have to get involved, it would go to zero. They have never came in an enforcement action and had a negotiated settlement. If the parties negotiate it and work it out, that's fine. But if they have to step in, it goes to zero. So, you know,
It's like a husband and wife talking about whether they can afford the new car. It's not so much a negotiation as a healthy discussion.
yeah. Well, yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, I guess I may read the law differently than y'all do. But I know that the easiest punch in there to check is that this department has debt right now.
Yeah, what I was trying to
go ahead.
what I was trying to impress upon everybody is they're going to bring us back a figure, and we'll be able to sit down with our
Correct.
Well,
accountants.
we'll be working
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
even every day.
That's my point.
It is no intention
that's
of this
not a
commission to
subject
do
of,
anything, it is no intention of this commission to do anything
Yeah.
adverse to the citizens of Water Valley. But also, how do we follow the law? And how do we do that? And, you know, and as I go back, there are just things we're trying to do that are in the customer's interest, such as keeping these offices open, getting Facebook up and going. Yes, sir.
There's only two people in there, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? There's two people in there, Ms. Vivian?
Mhm.
So how are you gonna work that out? I mean,
What do you mean, how are we gonna work it out? One goes from 11 to 12, and one can go 12 to 1. It's pretty simple. It goes on in city halls all around the state.
no, what I'm saying is the days when there's several people coming in and out, and it's more than one person can handle.
That's right. Well, that's for a 1 hour period for one person, 1 hour for the other. What's your solution?
I mean,
Because
I-
y'all are
I-
closed from 12 to 1 completely.
I'm not, no, my solution would be, why is that the election department even over there and not down there with the rest of it?
Well, that's a good question. We're paying
And
you
why do we not have a
$148 a month
drive-through
to have an office
For
over there.
people to pay during lunch.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have where they can pay online, and you know, the kiosk idea is a good idea. I think we need to make it, we serve
Yeah, I
the
honestly
people.
think it should
The
be down
optimal
there.
thing would
They
be for
don't
all the
serve
city halls
us.
to be open during lunch, like everyone in the state does, you know?
I'd like to make a motion that the city
Well, let's
changes
get
how they
through,
operate so we can be
Let's
open
get
for
through.
our
And that would be a
citizens as
help
well.
too.
let's get through with this.
Let me just say this, so his motion would be a help, because one of the issues raised today that came to the department was only one person being in here. So, although we have.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, one
Yeah.
person in the whole building.
Well, I agree with that, but then when we look at records, we only have one person in the building, drawing overtime at times, doing work, when there's only one person in the building. So, you know, fair enough. Probably be best, I'm just saying this as a citizen, I'd like to be able to go in, a lot of people wanna pay their taxes, a lot of people wanna get a permit, it's not upending the world. But regardless of how y'all wanna do it, I think we've got a good policy. Any other questions?
The main thing is, we're all on the same team, or should be. And for us we must work together to solve these issues. And the number one issue is providing safe, reliable electric service at a reasonable cost to end the blackouts as much as we can, to get the power so that we can serve more businesses and have reliable power that is
100%.
affordable. That's what we've got to do.
Yep.
And we've got to work together. And, you know, we certainly, it's got to, things have to change. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the commission's
Thank
work
y'all.
on that. So, that, andLl tell you what, you know, they dig into this, and they're doing it for zero compensation. So we owe
Pretty
them.
much costing all us money. so-
Well, it's costing all of money, but I'll tell you what, you're doing your city, I think, you're good citizens, and you're doing the city good, because this has to be changed. And we have to have a workable system. Have to. Now, we need to, is Odie here?
Well,
Odie?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I was serious about making that motion about having the city clerk's office adjusted. There's 2 people in that office. We should be open for the taxpayers as well. There's no reason
Actually,
that we have to.
there's 3 people.
Even
that
better.
got Odie. But works on the city clerk. Well, I mean, this is the way we do it. If there's that we've got an agenda, the agenda can be modified. If there's a motion to modify it and there's no objection to it, it will be modified. Is there any objection to modification of the agenda? Is there any objection? All right, then you're recognized.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to change how the city clerk's office, so we can better serve the public.
Okay.
And that they can come in and see their representative when they have lunch, just like the electric commission has decided to do. The staffing is there to rotate lunch hours. I think it's a good idea.
And I would, if you will allow this, I think we've got, you can't have a team without a good coach and a leader, and we do have our city clerk. So if you've got the three people, then she should be allowed, it looks like to me, to set the hours, because somebody's got to do it. Is that agreeable to you?
As long as that office stays open, it's agreeable to me.
Well, I think, you've got to have, it's got to be
adults, so
workable.
we can work that out.
Can you make it work, Miss Vivian?
I'll try my best.
Well, look, she's a trooper.
I'm a trooper. I sure am.
She-
A lot of ways.
Her father was too. Just one of the best I've ever known. All right, there's a motion, as modified perhaps, is there a second to that motion? All right, there is a second. Is there discussion of the motion? Then a vote will be had. As many as are in favor of the motion, Herbie's on
Quick
the,
question.
Okay.
So, just for clarification, so Ms. Vivian is going to determine how the electric and,
no, she's not
I'm
going
not
through with the
You're
electric.
on your
No,
side.
she's just on the
Okay.
other side, the
Gotcha.
three folks there.
okay, gotcha.
And, and I, electric's a horse of a different color.
Okay.
So, but you're right to ask that question. That's a good thing. All right, all in favor will either say aye or raise their hand. All right, that motion is unanimously adopted. And next is Odie Sheffield here. All right, Odie's not here and Willie is not here. Now, you two ladies, Ms. Ruby Carr and Ms. Elizabeth Reynolds, are y'all in agreement?
Yeah,
Yes, we are. We're on
the same team.
Well, let me tell you what, this lady, I've been, I drove to the cemetery again over the weekend. And let me tell you, we've got Oak Ridge Cemetery, and the gate of Oak Ridge, the gate of the other cemetery is very nice and distinguished, as it should be. Oak Ridge Cemetery has been cemetery for Water Valley citizens for a long time too. And that cemetery gate, if you look at it, you get more, it's not good. It's not good at all. It looks like, it doesn't look like a good pasture open.
Yeah.
It's less, it wouldn't keep out anything, but it doesn't look good. It's not conducive. Now, there have been some plans drawn up, and I think my wife and you worked on this about 25 years ago.
Right.
And
Was it that long ago? Yeah. 'Cause I hadn't retired.
back when y'all were in your 20s.
Maybe a little older than
But at any rate, I think Ms. Carr has got something that, and I hope that I know with the city's short on money, so we'll try to, if it's agreeable, we would allow maybe try to get private fundraising for this function, but we would need permission of the city. And Ms. Carter, would you share what you have?
Okay, we got this from First Place, Chad Newman, and to do the 24-inch brick columns, the label, the 30 by 30 footing poles, 2 of those, and the lights to go on there. Put lights on there, because you really cannot tell it's a cemetery until you go up in there. It just looks, it just hadn't been taken care of. It really hadn't. And the tubing for the arch to go across the top with Oak Ridge Cemetery on there, and letters in the arch. And it would all come to $4,800. And that's really not much.
Well, if you don't mind passing it around, and we'll, but we would certainly make the attempt to get private solicitation of funds and do that.
I'm not sure that we will could get it all in private, but whatever, it needs to be taken. It really needs to be taken care of.
I think with a community joint.
I think we can. I think we'll get the funding.
Okay,
I think it'll work.
It's been neglected for so many years. It has.
But it takes somebody like you to get it going. So.
But you know, and I went to the cemetery. You've got people that were born in the 1844. I saw, and then you got you know, the history of Water Valley is told in both cemeteries.
Yeah, if you go through the cemetery, you can.
And both deserve respect.
I make that motion that we approve it.
Motion that you approve that this be done with private solicitation.
I say.
We appreciate that.
Motion and second. All in favor, well, is any discussion? All in favor will say aye. Any opposed? That's unanimously adopted.
That was easy, thank you.
Ms. Vivian stepped out to get me one of the contract that's going to be item number 28. And so she just ran to get me a copy of that before we got there.
Okay. All right, the next thing is you gonna get the resolution for the civic, you got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the deal. We've got a Parks Commission, and we're meeting on next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Well, the civic auditorium may not strictly right now be under the Parks Commission, but there's a great desire that it be, because when it didn't have a home, it was left to rack and ruin, and it was closed for 6 years because, you know, we had mold and the roof was bad and everything else. And there's a great request that this be under the Parks and Recreation Commission. So we have proposed a resolution that would create the Civic Commission, but this would be composed of the Park Commission members, who would be ex officio members, and it would serve coterminous terms. The practical effect is that the city would be under the Parks Commission as they request. And is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's adopted. Next, we have a resolution requesting a local and private law that would do the same thing, but just put it under the parks. And I'll just get the legend. We would request them to do it too. I mean, just so we have it done. Is there a motion? Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next, I know absolutely nothing about this. This is a golf cart ordinance. Daniel, go ahead. And is any golf cart ordinance going once? Well, I mean, there
Nothing
may
was
be a
sent
need
to us
for it.
about a golf cart ordinance to review.
what do we?
Me and Jason had talked about it, I just put it on there.
Well,
but-
thank you. We appreciate it. Jason? Yes, sir. Can you study that issue and maybe if we need to do something, and I think we have some people that, you know, Snooky used to do that, and, you know, I think we.
Well, we looked at it briefly, and it would require a private and local for the state to
That's
approve.
what I think, and
to,
if y'all wanna do that, we could add that to the list now. You know, if y'all wanna do that.
Every city that's got the golf cart
You have
ordinances have been
well, that's the
approved by
way
the
we
state
did it.
legislature.
Yeah, that's the way we always did it. We did it by local and private. We didn't do it by general law, you know. Sure. So, but if y'all, why don't we do this? Why don't you come, Jason, with some ordinances that others have gotten with some of their local and privates, and then, you know, distribute it to the board and see which ones that, if they want to do it, what would best fit our needs, and you look at it too. So, I mean, I didn't, that's one thing, it's good that it came about, and so, you know, I'm sure if there's citizens that want that, and I think that there are some, I mean, we can.
There are, just went before the board to push the issue forward, so.
Well, that's a good thing, and so.
I will come up
Well,
with some
let's-
city ordinances and bring them.
Let's do it, and, you know, we have to get them adopted by the legislature. I think we did one for, past Christian, I think. And I may be wrong on that, but I think that got it. But at any rate, yeah, study that out, and let's get some of those.
So, just so I'm clear, we're talking about potentially passing an ordinance governing the use of golf carts on city streets.
Probably allow
It's
it.
actually passed
Okay.
Well, it's,
once before.
well, it might have passed, but there was no law authorizing it.
The general idea was passed that I would go back and research it, but we never did
That's not
finalize
lawful.
it. Right, because, well, that's what it was.
Non lege est. It is not lawful.
Well, it was one of those motions that we would look into it and come back and
But my understanding is, Mr. Joe, it basically would allow golf carts, certain golf carts under certain safety conditions, and were, had a one-time inspection by the police department or issued a sticker, would be able to operate on streets less than 35 miles an hour.
And what you can do is, if the legislature passes a bill to let you do it, then you can pass an ordinance doing it. If the legislature does not let you do it, then it's not lawful, okay?
Okay.
So, we can do that, and I'm sure we can, we got a good local and private chairman in the House. And I sent it to, I'm sure. But at any rate, I used to be chairman of local and private, I really enjoyed that. Next, we have the leisure ordinance, or leisure ordinance for some places, leisure to me. What about that?
This is for adding,
sir.
this is for adding what I wanted to add.
Leisure?
Well, it's down here, it's on there twice, I would.
Well, okay, well, let's do it.
No, I just make sure we're on the same page.
All right, well, okay. All right, well then, let's move on then to the class for elected officials. And IC 402 class for elected
We'll
officials.
cycle back. All right. Hold that thought.
So do you want me to do 17 and 19, or do you want me to cycle back
well,
after we get through
Well,
with
let's,
17?
okay, let's 17, do we have any, what do we got on 17?
ICS 402 is for elected officials. It's incident command in the event of a disaster or an event in the city of Water Valley, how we handle it. And so a quick question, if there's a major event in Water Valley and during this ice storm, let's just say, and one of the buildings catches on fire down in town, who's in charge? I know you want to say the fire department. Y'all are always in charge. And what we need to do is to teach the new officials what happens in a disaster and what happens on a normal daily basis of where do y'all stand in the event. Because the biggest thing is recapturing money after a disaster. If y'all don't know how to do that, than we leave a bunch of money laying on the table like a transformer.
And lawful expenditure of money.
I don't understand.
I say lawful
Oh.
expenditure of money too.
But I mean, we've been through several disasters in Water Valley when just the transformer, for example, could have been something on the list where FEMA would pay 75 to 80% to have that fixed. So that's what I want y'all to know. We've got dates, and all these dates it's 4 hours. I'm asking for 4 hours of your
And
Saturday.
if you don't do it right, you don't get any money back.
Okay. Absolutely. I'll share with y'all who's left hundreds of thousands on the table and didn't even realize it. I've got, I can't read that day.
23rd, 30th.
No, this is gonna be September. I know. I don't have August really available because actually the last 2 weekends of August I'll have available. Let me pull my calendar up, and I have August the 23rd, August the 30th, and September the 6th. That's right. August the 23rd, August the 30th, or September the 6th. I'm hoping to get more than just Water Valley, so whenever y'all pick a day, I'll get them to pick a day. I'll get them to come in with us, so it's not just 3 or 4 people from Water Valley. Exactly where we're gonna have it, I don't know, but it doesn't have to be all 3 of those days. Y'all get with yourselves and pick one of those days for a 4-hour morning. It's not enough, but it'll get you started. Okay, I'll cycle around, Jason.
Oh,
8 to 12 on those
Yes,
days?
8 to 12 is fine. If y'all say we'd rather do it at 9, I'm cool with that, 9 to 1. But if for newly elected officials or elected officials that haven't had it, in the county it's mandatory, but for the city it's recommended.
well, I hope we don't have disasters, but we certainly will. So that's just the way you got it. That's a good thing, folks. And ice storms and tornadoes and things, we don't want them, but they do come on us. So let's keep that in mind. Next, we've got Will.
Pick a day. Were we gonna pick a day or not?
I have the 23rd and the 6th open.
I have the 6th
Y'all want to get
I'll make
together.
whatever works for everybody else.
Y'all want to get together.
Sounds like the 6th.
And y'all want to work together and
Yeah, well,
work a date, and then, all right, Will, now, Daniel, hair property,
Yes, sir.
would you please go forward?
I'll
Okay.
make it work. The guys are gonna do that. I'll make it work.
Y'all have already seen this picture, but I'm gonna pass it around again. This is another house that I'd like to bring up to y'all's attention
Let's
tonight.
do the hair property first, if we could.
Okay.
Daniel, I think it'd be best to deal
One
with
at a
properties one at a time, because it's separate issues.
Yes, sir.
And you have to lay the predicate. Did you approach this property, I'm talking about the hair property, did you approach it, you entered on, you saw the
Yes, sir.
obstacle or the things you're complaining of, you could see it in plain view?
Absolutely.
All right, and so, seeing it in plain view, what did you observe?
There's no windows in the house. The door was, the other day, was flung wide open for a couple of days straight. And, matter of fact, yesterday there was somebody rummaging around in the house. I don't know who it was, but definitely wasn't Scott.
Was
So
there,
that just,
was there items around the house that would render it a danger to children that would
oh yeah, I would
go
argue
on
the
the
house
property?
itself. Yeah.
And are windows knocked out of the house?
hmm
Was there vegetation growing unkempt around the house?
Not after
Well,
I got it cleaned up.
before the
Yes,
city
before.
voted,
Yes. Lots.
and even after, was there still vegetation near
There
the
was
house?
still a little bit, but I mean,
Well, obviously, so. Daniel, you have questions to ask?
No, sir. It's, you handled most of them, I usually touch on the issue of whether the inspector feels as if children or vagrants can get in, and whether there's a likelihood that if someone did, they would be at harm to themselves. So is it a harm to themselves itself or others due to rodents or overgrowth or what have you?
Is the power connected to the house?
It has been off since the city got the new system in 2019, and they don't know past
Is it a fire in your opinion? Now you're a professional firefighter. You qualified.
I am.
In your opinion, is it a danger to other properties in the area by virtue of fire capacity? All right.
It's a danger to the firefighters themselves if it did catch on fire.
All right. Any other questions or comments by anyone? And anyone that claims an interest in that property here now? Anybody claiming an interest in the property in question? Anyone claiming an interest in the property in question?
So
let's move on.
So we would set it for a hearing for September 2nd upon motion of the board, and then we would give notice per the statute, 2 weeks notice by posting and 2 weeks mail to the last known address is listed on the tax receipt, and then we would have the hearing for a formal determination of whether it is in fact a menace.
Yes, and if it is determined to be a menace, then there are certain remedies in the statute. And
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think you have to specify as to the remedy you're seeking at this point.
No, sir.
But there are several remedies. A lot of them are would be some of them complete remedy. There's a motion, I believe, is that correct?
No, I just.
And there's a motion and second. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. All right. And is there any opposition to the motion? All right. There is no opposition to the motion. Now, let's continue with your report.
Okay. This is another property.
Make that be an exhibit to the minutes.
I would like to bring y'all's attention. There's a picture on there. Those are pictures I took the other day. And there's a picture on there from Google Earth from 2023. Same situation, but the grass is a little short. Just to show you how long it's been like that, at least.
Is it by Baker Street Park?
That one? That's on Chestnut.
I don't know what Chestnut is off the top of my head. That's what I mean.
No.
This is the next street up from where you make the left to go to Baker Park.
Okay.
All right, well,
No, the second street.
Is this an abandoned property? All right.
There's no power.
There's no power. Is there any power to? Is the property been?
Okay. Yeah. Off a ridge.
Well, I asked you the same questions that I asked you on the other property. Did you go into the questions that I'd asked you on the other?
Yes, I think it is a danger to children or vagrants.
And did you personally observe the things that you state today? Are they from your personal observations and sight on the property, so you could see the things that you're telling us tonight from your view of the property?
As much as you can
before you entered on the property, is that correct?
I haven't been on the property.
But you
from
did.
The street.
You observed it, and you. All right. Now, you took pictures of it. Is that correct? And those pictures are. Is there? Well, before us tonight as an exhibit to your testimony.
Yes.
Are there any? In regard to the property, is the property served by power or what? Electricity or water?
I don't know about the water, but I know there's no electricity.
Now, are there windows out in the house?
All the way around.
Is there brush and undergrowth around the house?
Mm-hmm.
Is there is there anything to stop children from entering on the property or the house?
No.
In your opinion, is it a danger to children that would enter upon the house?
Absolutely.
Daniel?
Sir, I apologize.
Questions?
Again, in your opinion, is it a danger to third parties, general citizens of the public?
Absolutely.
And do you believe that the conditions of the home would be conducive to the spread of rodents, etc.?
Absolutely.
All right, any further questions? Now, this is near Baker.
No.
This is not near
Ridge Street.
Ridge
Hill
Street. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yep. A lot different. Is there a motion that this be set for
September 2nd.
September 2nd?
At 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And should probably amend our order on the hair after this.
That's right, and it will need to be, that'll need to be properly noticed.
Yes, sir.
I believe is it twice?
No, sir, it's just 2 weeks' notice to by posting on the property and by notice via mail.
Two.
Yeah, 2 forms of notice.
Yeah. Well, and the Supreme Court has, issued an opinion that is, look at that.
Yes, sir.
All right. All in favor of this motion and notice and finding and notice will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. But anything else?
I gave everybody a list of the properties that I personally drove around and looked at. We have a lot of streets in Water Valley, if I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But these are all the ones I found. I'm not gonna say it's 100%, but it's at least 90 to 95 that I could see from the road. There's a lot of stuff that's, you just can't see from the road.
And you're working with people, I think, and trying to give them an opportunity to clean up things and do that. Well, we want to be reasonable with folks and try to, because if you point the finger at somebody, 3 of them come back sometimes. And I know that my wife would keep everything nice and neat, but I might slip up every once in a while. So.
Are all these homes on this list vacant?
No, not all of them.
Folks?
Some of them, the ones that say no power, are qualified as vacant because they don't have power.
Yeah.
But the ones that don't have anything beside them, I couldn't really determine if they were or not. They had a name with them in the electric department, but that could just be they paid it and now nobody's here. I don't know.
Well,
So I'm gonna dig a little deeper on that, but for now.
We got so many people that love to be with us in Water Valley to join us. If we had housing for them, they would come. So it's a sad thing to see our housing stock, let go. So now,
You got your floodplain class.
Yes.
the floodplain. Let's talk about floodplain. Did we? Was it appreciable change from the last flood map that we had?
I haven't been to the class yet.
Well, how about going?
That's what I was coming tonight for. To
How
see if I
about a
could,
month? Look, they're
go.
changing the flood maps. We need to know about this. Is there a motion and second that his training be approved?
I second.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Well, all right, you. The younger generation get coming on. All right, now,
Mayor.
Mark, you.
Did that need to go to a vote?
Mr. Magnus
Yeah.
is asking a question.
Everything needs to go. Is it? Yeah. For him to go to, send him to class. If there's a motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Next, we're going to have Mark again. Mark, we just love to have you. Go ahead.
Can I ask you one quick question? Everybody can hear it, I don't mind. I feel like we've been talking about the fire truck and the money. Can we give that just a little bit more time? I'll stay in close touch with Daniel and make sure that we can get something to bring the board before the September meeting.
I agree, and look, there's other things at work too, and there's other possibilities of funding too, so let's have this conversation, and we need to dig in, and we gotta have fire protection. We gotta have electricity, but we gotta have fire protection, and if our fire protection, if we don't have up-to-date trucks, our fire rates are gonna go through the roof, and we don't want that, and it's
That's
unsafe.
correct.
So we're with you.
And, we've got a little bit of time. Y'all have had a lot on your plate tonight, and
Fair amount.
we just need to just set that back for a minute. Usually when I walk in front of y'all, I'm doing something to help you, or help the city, actually. Nicole can tell you, I try to do the very best I can for the city. And right now, when I walk out of the fire station, I see the chicken plant. That's the first thing I see when I walk out my door. I don't know how long we've had it. I truly don't. It's been 3 or 4 years. And it's worse now than it was when we got it. It's dilapidated, it's falling in. I understand the street department uses a lot of it for stuff, but as we go through the year, stuff gets pilfered from up there daily, I'm sure. Right now, we can get our money back from the chicken plant that we spend on it, including the money that it takes to clean it up. And when I say clean it up, I mean raise it to the ground. I'm not talking about we're going to remove all the pavement and do all this stuff. I don't want the money. This is not for the fire department. This is to go right, but I just want to be over it because nothing's been done. I've been talking to a fellow right now who will clean it up for the scrap metal and split the cost of the scrap metal with the city. I can sell the buildings on Gov Deals, middle road price on Gov Deals for one of the buildings for them to remove it. Somebody else to come and take the building down and leave with it is $50,000 for one building. I don't remember, we sat down and figured probably around our half of the metal sales for just the front building is about $23,000. That's again after they've been paid. It won't cost the city a single dime to do this. I'm not asking for, I would give you a written plan before anything were to happen. What I would like is to be put over it.
Well, how about this? Let's consider this and carefully study it. This is significant, and he's brought some good points, and I think they need to be carefully studied. I think we've got to make sure that, Daniel, we're doing everything in accordance with law.
Of course, yes, sir.
And that building will be excluded of the tank.
And now, that being said, there is some hazardous stuff there. Now, I will say this, we need the more land we can get in Water Valley that's developed and going, and the more people we have here, that needs to be cleaned and a good site. But the more we get, the better we're off. And I tell you, they want to come. So, but we can study that if you would.
Yes, sir.
Study that idea.
Just real briefly, since we've got so many new members on the board, I know Herbie and Nicole, and of course Vivian and I were present. The idea, the movement behind that was so that eventually the hope was that we could move the street departments off of Main Street and to get them back so that we could open up Main Street for more development and beautify our Main Street. So it was, and so that was the long-term goal when we started in that direction.
And two, we're not going to give up necessarily all of that.
Sure.
So there's a way to do a moderation.
Yes,
Moderation's a pretty good deal. So if it's all right with y'all, we'll have Daniel to study the legal ability to follow what Mark is saying in other courses too, if that's all right with y'all. Would that be suffice? And we need to, when you deal with stuff, you need to be sure that what you're doing, you're on solid legal ground. So if that's okay, we'll do that, okay? Is that okay? You know? Okay. Thank you, Mark. As always, Mark is helpful. Let me tell you what, the fire department on the Civic was very, very valuable with it. Y'all were too now, and others too. But they were very, very valuable. It made the money go a lot further. Next. All right, bucket for the street department.
It went up, did it not, Willie? Didn't the price go up on that bucket because it had expired? How much did it go up? You remember, to 45?
1,500 to 2,200, I thought. 2,250.
You need 2,200 for a bucket truck?
No, it's just the bucket that goes on the ditch witch.
Oh, okay. Well, bucket truck, but I didn't know what it.
Just the bucket.
All right. Well, really, that's under $5,000.
I know we had agreed to buy it, but it went up since then because we didn't get it at the right time.
All right, well, you probably don't need a
How long
board
will it be
vote.
before he actually can go get it?
How long would you go get it, Willie?
Willie, you're being interrogated. Come on, come. How, you want to stand up?
Okay.
How long would it be before you could get it?
I'm gonna have to get new quotes, I reckon. I don't really know because of,
Well, you wouldn't technically have to get quotes, but it'd be a good thing to do that. Yeah, that'd be good. And
Maybe a week. Maybe about a week.
I think he must have got a phone
Okay.
call as to whether it's changed, or maybe they called him.
We didn't get it at the right time, it ran out.
where did he
Yeah.
get the number from that he, where did he get the increase number from?
The 2250 number.
From the one we had chosen to get.
So you called them up to come pick it up, and they said the price
Price
is
had
going
gone
up.
up, that's right.
and
So
you
why
go.
would we need to get more bids? I mean, 'cause if it went up there, it probably went up everywhere.
Agreed. That's
And
Well, I
evidently
mean,
they were the cheapest up front.
I mean, if
Right.
well, I suppose, I don't know. I mean, Willie, would you like to get more quotes, or what do you want to do? Or
Or do you wanna just get it
think-
from them?
You think that's a fair price?
Yes, sir. It's a fair price, but we need it.
Do you think you'll be able to obtain any lesser price?
I don't know. But like I said, we got, this one's 1,700 and it's gone up that much, and I don't know,
Well,
everything's going up. So.
and it's fixed to go up more. But the thing about it, what I would do is, well, he doesn't, under the law, I mean, it's under the
That's what I'm
amount
saying.
that quotes would be required for. So if with
The longer
y'all's
you prolong it, the
consent,
more it's
you
gonna
don't
go
have to,
And we need our ditches cleaned.
we got to have the ditches
Yeah,
cleaned.
let's go ahead and.
I mean, the longer you prolong it, the more.
Well,
it's
there's no
gonna go
need
up.
of it, if that's a fair price.
Yeah.
This one fits the
Now, you
machine
don't have to,
we have.
and this is within the budget, is it not, Vivian? Well, it's in the budget, and you don't have to vote on
Yeah.
that. You can buy it,
Get it.
get a purchase order and get
As
it.
long as that's in accordance with
Just
the law,
go get it
get
as soon as
it.
possible, so it don't go.
You gotta get a purchase order first, and you will.
We'll take care of that tomorrow.
All right, so that's done. Now, let me bring you up on street and flood improvements. First, flood improvements. $4.5 million grant hadn't gone away. And it may be, I'm not promising, but if it works, and I think it may still, that we would have some, in September and October, they would be working on designing the flood work. And then they're gonna be contracting for it next year, hopefully. Now, this could all go away, but hopefully it'll not. And I'm getting good encouragement from certain sources that should know, but we'll find out more. Street improvements. The legislature, when I was there, and I strongly supported it, passed the internet sales tax bill that put the internet, the Sartons and everybody else, you pay sales tax when you buy there. Well, you pay it on internet sales now. That money goes in the fund. The fund goes back to local governments largely, a lot. And so we get money from that for streets. Basically, you can use it some for water, but mainly it's streets. And some occasionally you'll need it for water. But this is the thing. If you don't use it, you lose it, okay? And it's possible to have a good street program, and I think we need one in this town. I think we're gonna get a drainage program, I know that, but we need a street program. That being said, you remember Grant and Nicole? We went to the infrastructure session. Do you remember that? And there is thanks to modern technology, a machine, or they have a way of going over every road or street in a jurisdiction, and they take pictures 2 million pixels per second. This determines helps to determine the real condition of the road or street. And you can use this as a good tool to determine what streets need what and what the shape of streets. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's obvious. We know that. Sometimes it's not quite so obvious. What I think would be good is if our North Central Planning, I talked with the Planning Development District in South Mississippi in Gulfport. And the Stone County Administrator, if y'all will remember, spoke at our meeting. But I talked with their Planning Development District. I have been referred to, and I like him, Toby Sanford. He did the redistricting for Tallahatchie County. I did it. I was a lawyer and board attorney, 30 years. But at any rate, everybody voted for it. Everybody got along. But at any rate, he also is over all the tech for Golden Triangle. Big Mississippi State guy, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Big Mississippi State. But at any rate, I like Mississippi State. I'm against them one time a year. But at any rate, he is doing what they're doing all of Choctaw County, every road in Choctaw County, every road in Oktibbeha County, they're doing this too. And that's helping them, and they're all cities galore in their planned development district. He indicated he was willing to come over here to talk with us, and I'm going to ask y'all if y'all consider a special meeting for that, and whatever else we've got, because I seriously think that we need a good road program that would, because let me tell you what, if you don't spend that money for roads, you're not going to get that money. Because if you don't send, Vivian, you'll acknowledge you have to send a report every year. And these poor folks that don't spend their money, they lose it. If you don't, the money is there for roads and streets. So what I would say is I hope we can come up with a good, aggressive program, but one that's paid for. Right now, we're getting forced. This is for streets. This isn't for electric. This isn't for education. This isn't for the national debt. This is for streets, and so we need to utilize it. And two, we can by utilizing it, we can make it go further. So, and you can, I would say if we could get them, if y'all like it, just see what he's got. If y'all like it, these other places are doing it, but we could get our streets looked at for, I think, a very reasonable price. And then have that as an additional tool so that then we could design a transportation program, a long-term transportation program for our city. Because if we don't, if streets fall apart, if the electric's falling apart and the streets falling apart and everything's falling apart, who's gonna wanna live there? And then your town falls apart. So we need to stay ahead of these things, but with y'all's permission, I will get him over and we'll be looking at that. And but these training programs, folks, you learn a lot from pollinating with other folks. I did not I told somebody today, now I could keep up with the first 1 million pixels an hour, a second, but after that, the second million, they'd probably lose me on, so. But it's amazing what the new technology can do. So that's what, but the flood is looking, flood never looks good, but the flood program is looking like it may work. And the streets, we can make it work. Now we move into local emergency order. And we've heard from the electric, and it seems that the facts remain the same about the poles. Is that correct in the other matters?
I wouldn't take his report as anything but that.
All right. Is there a motion that we continue the emergency declaration on electric? Is there a second? Discussion, all in favor will say aye. All opposed. Next, Grant, you've got a request for job descriptions for citywide job descriptions.
Yeah, so, it's very apparent with the election department that I think it's safe to say the election department isn't the only department that's behind on the times. We've got to kind of, I know we can't get everything fixed in one day, but we can move in the right directions. Now, I think Joe was with me when we asked, or we asked, if there were job descriptions across the board. And some departments have them and some departments don't. And I spoke with previous aldermen who said that they tried to get this passed before, and it was kind of a laughing matter, like, well, why do we need to write down a job description for somebody that rides on the back of a fire truck? We know he's a fireman. Or why do we need a job description for someone who's riding in a police car or on a garbage truck? We know what they do. And the answer is because we've got to know what everybody's doing in the city. So when these positions come open, we know how to advertise to fill these positions. And if there's a lawsuit like the city found themselves in the early 2000s with the firemen, they knew exactly what their description was, and the city was out of compliance with that, and they wound up winning that lawsuit. So I just make a motion that the city of Water Valley require that all employee positions have formal written job descriptions on file. These descriptions should clearly outline duties and responsibilities, qualifications, and reporting structure associated with each position. Department heads will be responsible for creating and submitting these job descriptions for review and approval by the mayor of aldermen, which should be easy in the age of ChatGPT. We have an accurate, up-to-date job description is essential for effective management as they provide clarity for employees regarding their roles and expectations. They also assist department heads and supervisors in evaluating performance fairly and consistently and help avoid misunderstandings or duplications of duties, and serve as a vital tool during hiring, training, and the disciplinary process. Furthermore, job descriptions promote transparency to protect the city from legal and personal issues and ensure that the taxpayer funds are used efficiently. Implementing this policy will strengthen accountability and professionalism across all departments in service to the city of Water Valley.
Grant, would you mind having a thing that you would have it reviewed by the city attorney?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I add that all job descriptions will be reviewed by the city attorney. I add that to my motion.
I second that.
All right, there's a motion and second. Is there discussion? Well, I think it's quieting down after it gets 8 o'clock, isn't that right? All right, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, let's move on to speed bump. And we have had, now Grant, remember we've had speed bumps, and now, speed bump, Willie, again, that is something that they've got to be just right, and they've got to do some good, but you don't want to destroy a vehicle either, but you want to get it right and have it accepted by the people in the area, particularly, that if they don't want it, you certainly don't want to do it to them, but you need to do it where there is a danger to the safety of the residents, and so now let's open it up. Let's talk about I guess who has the needs for speed bumps in particular areas. All right, Nicole?
Well, speed bumps have already been put on Boyd and Askew.
Yes.
And right under Fayette, as you go around the curve.
Right.
So they're there.
Okay, and
But there needs to be a second speed bump on Boyd and Askew, closer to the stop sign, because people are still flying through.
okay, all right,
And also, I live right there by Baker Street Park,
right,
and it's a safety issue for the kids that are there at the park. People
okay.
speed
Well, that's.
all around the
that's-
park.
That shouldn't be.
Well, I
Okay,
have to take
so
that.
you're requesting a speed bump there as
I
well?
am, on both sides.
Okay.
Could they be a little less aggressive than the one on Askew?
You have to look at the outside.
Well, you certainly start out less aggressive, and then if you need to build up, you always
I
can.
agree.
But I mean, but
I like the
where,
speed bumps.
where it would be noticed, and if we'll have to, the safety of the children has to be considered, but first and
Well,
foremost,
definitely
I agree with
necessary
that.
Around Baker Street
But,
Park.
but we can start off
Flying through.
something,
Every
and
day.
then if it needs more, we'll do more. But start off with something good, and then if it needs even more, we'll do that. Is that agreeable? We're gonna vote on it. I mean, you got one at,
I've got one right in front of the house between your office and I call it the Wildflower House. It's
they have
pretty
requested
house,
that,
that's right.
and they're, yeah, they have strongly requested that.
I can personally report that for years people have been gunning it up and gunning it down.
Oh sure, well yeah, and then
Yeah,
people
and-
backing out of your office. I'm so surprised there hasn't been a wreck. Yeah.
Well, but Daniel, I mean, the Daniel wouldn't request anything for his sake, but the lady did request it,
And we got new development.
yes,
in
and
the
that's
future
another
coming
thing.
that
We
way.
hope we do, and we want more people in Water Valley.
Yeah.
That
just adds
they want to
protection
come.
to that neighborhood. So.
Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna take a motion.
I've had a request.
Got one too? Go ahead.
Yeah, on the upper ends of Wagner, kind of as you're coming down, if you're coming off the 7.
Tell me by whose house, man.
The Edwards.
Mike Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Through there.
Okay.
And then,
All right.
a little conflict of interest saying this, but Champion Circle, even though I live on Champion Circle, people fly down there.
Well, I mean, let me say this: where you're their elected, I would say representative. You're their elected alderman, so they have no one else to speak up but you, and you feel that they would support it. Is that correct?
I do.
Okay. Well, all right. So we've got these particular requests. Vivian, do you have each one of them
Yes,
noted?
sir.
All right. Is there a motion that they be approved and allowed? There's a motion. Is there a second? Motion second, duly made. Is there further discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that motion unanimously is adopted. Okay. Jason? Now, you want to add language to the leisure district for beverages being paper, plastic, or styrofoam cups.
Yes, sir, and take out no more than 2 at a time.
Do what now?
And you can take no more than 2 drinks at one time out of the restaurant.
I won't.
So
You
one
know,
of each
so,
hand?
so one of each hand.
Yeah, okay, I can deal. We
But
can
not a
deal.
6-pack.
Not a
I mean, I'll give you 2. I really want to go with 1, but I'll be
No,
reasonable and give you 2.
let's.
Two's fine. Yeah. You may have a wide
I think they might put us on Saturday Night Live.
Because you're gonna drink the person
Anyway,
gonna cup down on the street.
I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
Here you go, honey. I get it.
Is there a motion that this be approved?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, now you've got a hemp and kratom ordinance that Oxford has passed.
Yes, sir.
And which I think these substances, I believe they're illegal, and I believe they would fall under a under the burden of the law as it is right now, because this town has passed a law, an ordinance, Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, every town does, that violations of misdemeanors of state statutes are also a violation of city ordinance. Is that right?
Right.
Probably they did it about 1882 or something.
We have a misdemeanor.
But at any rate, this would
Yes.
this would specify, now this wouldn't, as I understand it, you know, kratom is not a legal substance.
Well, the part of the problem is it's not identified in the Schedule 1 lists that they have under the state statute. And I think that's the primary point of what the chief is trying to address, is that at this point, because it's not identified in that specific state statute, theoretically, a teenager could go into a gas station or wherever and buy that substance because it's not regulated.
Yeah, well, I think they could regulate it now, but, you know, this would just be an additional tool, and just review it, Daniel, and of course make sure that we don't have a grillish problem with it where it's actually loosening things in any respect. So, but with that proviso, is there a motion and second?
Make the motion.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, and now we have the Federal Highway Safety Grant application that if y'all will give me permission to do it, I will sign. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
We also add in that, he can give me signatory permission to send in the paperwork along the way.
That's, so Vivian, you got a document for me to sign?
I'll get it to you, Mr. Mayor. If it was to prove you to sign it, I'll go through it, and get it to you to sign with all the boxes marked, because there's a bunch of.
Well, I'll be ready in the morning.
It'll be actually early next week, to be honest.
Well,
We've got till the end of the month to get it in.
If the Lord wills, I'll be here next week. If not,
The
somebody.
second side of that,
Herbie
also,
will be,
in conjunction with
I'll be
that
dead.
ordinance, that grant, we have to turn in our overtime policy. Technically, the police department does not have a written overtime policy per se. So this policy is, we have the city policy, but there's not one under the department guidelines. We've always just followed the cities. So
This is how you get sued now.
this policy from Mississippi Municipal Liability Insurance Company. This is their model policy. It's the exact policy we've been following all along. It says in there specifically that we follow the federal labor standard guideline, unless, just like Daniel's got.
Sir?
Yeah, it should have printed like
You
that.
got overtime, we've received 1.5 times their standard rate of pay for hours worked in excess.
Yes. I mean, this is no different than what we do now.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, this model policy is from the Mississippi Municipal, our insurance company, and through Phelps and Dunbar.
Yeah, they're good folks. All employees are urged to make every effort to schedule work during regular hours and to avoid working overtime. Now, police, you know, can't always, and others can too, but, you know, that's in there, so there you go.
So you're wanting to add this to the city handbook?
I want to add no to the police department handbook. Police department's policy guideline, not the city's.
We need.
And I will fix the printing. I didn't realize they printed that way.
All of our appropriate, make sure it's in.
So the police department has their own handbook?
Yes. That is correct.
All right, is there a motion that this be accepted? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's done. All right, now, got anything else?
The second chance contract, I'd ask the board to review it. Right now, me and Mr. Willie have virtually no, my understanding is they have to provide us a point of contact and accept any dogs by the city. Me and Mr. Willie have no contact, have no way to drop a dog off. We might get called back today, we might get called back next week. We don't have keys to the building, we don't have access to a kennel, and we pay them an outrageous amount of money.
Well, Well, let me say this, as far as liability, now, that is not a city facility at all.
Well, it is not.
We pay them
But
every
it is
month.
not.
We
But
pay
part of that,
them.
we pay them to use it.
That's,
We pay them and they do
also.
a
So
service
it's
for
like a
the
lease?
pro, but we do not, that's not our, we are not in control of that
Right,
facility.
Not at
I
all.
understand.
And
But
have not been in control of
I
it.
guess that being said, if, that's why I'm asking you to review the contract. If they're not gonna provide us with this, we, as a board, I would suggest you look at what we pay and why do we pay? I
Well,
don't even begin to
So do you
know.
take any dogs out there?
Not, right now we can't because we don't have any way to take a dog.
Well, how about this, how about we get, how about Daniel, write a letter to address the concerns that he has, and
Yes.
let's do things in a business-like way, and we'll understanding that we're not accepting liability for it because we're not in control. You know, if you're not in control, you certainly, I mean, the reason the city contributed was to meet a need that,
That's a good way of saying it. You're not getting what you pay for right now.
well,
So in the event that you have to pick up a dog, what are your options?
Right now, we have none.
well, this is the deal.
Zero.
Some dogs, you know, if you've got a dog that's been abused or in fights, and particularly if they're a vicious breed, you probably not gonna rehome that dog. That dog probably needs to take a trip down to Jackson.
Well, you're probably not gonna rehome it, and then being rehomed and then whipped, and then there's a death down there, two totally different things. So we need to,
This is, Daniel, would you address a letter addressing the concerns
I'd like a copy of that and
of the board and,
Of the letter or
and
the contract?
law
of
enforcement?
the contract. I don't sure I have that yet.
No, sir.
That's all I have.
Well, he'll do that, and we appreciate people, you know, volunteers
Real quick,
giving of
Chief.
their time.
What were you hoping to purchase with the grant?
Oh, the grant is to pay overtime to the tune of, it is strictly for overtime for the tune of $18,442.94 to pay overtime for officers to work traffic speeding and seatbelt and DUI enforcement outside of their regular schedule. That's what prompted the overtime policies. This grant is paying strictly overtime.
Gotcha.
They reimburse. We pay, I send a bill to the state, and I write us a check for the overtime we spend.
Okay, up to
On
the
those-
grant amount.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a couple of things you have to do, certain standards every quarter, like the click their ticket campaign and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just expect
Oh,
that.
thank you.
Next, we have the reliable point of contact for the street and police department. Vivian, what are we talking about here?
That was, Mr. Mayor, that's the second chance dog contact.
Okay, well then we're gonna, okay, next we have the Creekmore resolution. I've drafted a resolution. We're having this, they're having a Creekmore, festival, civic. He was a author and he wrote a lot of books and he was from Water Valley. And books, poems and things like that. And his close kin is the Sam Creekmore from New Albany, that is chairman of the Public Buildings Committee in the House, not Public Buildings, Public Health Committee in the House. Real nice guy. And other kin folks, I think, own a good bit of Cellular South. And this event will be, this would name it, he has a sign in town, a historic sign commemorating him, and he was kin to Eudora Welty and a noted author. So what this would, and they're having this the day here, so this resolution would, the legislature passed one. So what we would do is pass a resolution like the legislature did, and say this was going to be Hubert Creekmore Day, and note his accomplishments. Is there a motion and second?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Now, we get to the point it said executive session. We're about at the end. Now, if y'all want to do executive.
I would like to make a motion to add one more thing I'd like to discuss to the agenda.
Okay.
So I get the motion, and what I would like to discuss is street festivals on Main Street and the requirements the city is asking of the people hosting those events to provide event insurance to make sure that the city is not liable for any injuries that occur.
You want to add that?
I would like to discuss it.
I wish we could get some information on it, you know, about the availability of it, and I don't know. We've got the Blues Festival, Main Street, and we've got the several things. Yeah, we can always discuss things. I wish we could study that and come with something, and that would be workable. I don't know what limit, you know, the limits, the cost and the limits of it, but I can see it being good. Now, when you've got like a church group or something like that, or it's hard to do. Some of this is, you know, you got a season, you got everything's caught up in it. So, what do you think?
The city's got a certain level of immunity for
tort claims that.
Right, from regular situations where a business owner might not. So if a person's in the regular performance of his duties and not doing anything as we would call negligent, is just performing his duties like any prudent person would, then if an accident occurs, then you know it's limited. And so to the extent of somebody enjoying the festival, unless there's a situation where an employee of the city is actively involved with the incident that occurs, it's highly unlikely that any liability would ever come back upon the city.
That's right. I think the city is in good shape now. You know, private individuals,
That's
you know, that would be their little.
So we don't need to require event insurance for any entity wanting to host something on Main Street.
Right, just the city in itself granting the license to use Main Street for that limited purpose does not itself open up the city for liability for liability to an accident which occurred during that event.
Okay.
Unless a city employee was actively involved with the accident.
And then you're liable under 1983, you know, you'd be liable anyway, whatever you did. So, but you got, you're trying to do right. I mean,
well, thank you very much.
Trying to do good, and that's, you know, if you don't have a little inquiry, you got a dead mind. And you know, that's a bad thing. Look, now we got executive session here.
We're talking. We have one more. We moved my discussion to the general discussion and not executive session.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What I want to talk about it's going to be a proposal and then it's going to turn into a motion. But I want to preface to everybody in the room and everybody at this board right now that and this proposal is in no shape or form coming for anybody's job, position, or pay. This is something that I've seen modeled in other cities that in the Tri-Lake area that is a system that is proved to be tried and true and the most efficient system that there is. And that is creating the job position of a public works director and changing the definition of our department heads from department head to department superintendent. And so this new job would fill the position that Mike Strygin was pretty much already doing. He was overseeing street He was overseeing cemetery, he was overseeing parks and recs, he was overseeing sanitation. Now, I know that we've already filled the street department position, and that's great. I have no intention on moving anybody from that position. Whoever's in that position is in that position. So, but this person would oversee, or this position would oversee the day-to-day operations of the water, street, sewer, and the water, street departments, and the superintendents of each department would directly report to him, and then he would directly report to you.
Let me say this, Grant. Now, the park commission is going to be over
that's right. That's right. So that's no longer
yeah, and that is, and now the cemetery, there is a thought of perhaps, a private, that could be a part-time private contractor on that, so that you got to know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
And
So,
literally.
cutting the cemeteries and the parks now. If we got a park commission, they're not gonna cut the grass in the parks no more?
Certainly they will. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, what I'm asking is, you said that the parks commission is gonna be responsible for that.
Parks Commission is responsible for the general supervision of the parks and the activities of the parks. And the head, they will be over the director of the Parks and Recreation Department. And now they're not gonna, the 7 members not gonna cut the grass. I mean, that's gonna happen. Now, the cutting grass right now is done, by
Cemeteries and parks.
well, yes, and of course, that's just subject to, that's subject to your pleasure on that. You can do it, a lot of places do it some way, some of them do it another. But go on ahead.
All right, so I'll just read this out so it's out in the open, and there's no, and I promise I'll make it quick. The job summary. The Public Works Director is responsible for the leadership, planning, and management of the city's street, water, sanitation, and cemetery departments. The Director will oversee all 4 departments to ensure efficient and effective operations on a daily basis. The street and water departments will each operate under a superintendent, both of whom will report directly to the Public Works Director. Will act as superintendent for the cemetery and sanitation departments. The Director will coordinate department projects, supervise activities, and manage operations to ensure consistent service delivery across all Public Works departments. His general duties will include provide leadership and direction for all Public Works departments, street, water, sanitation, and cemetery, coordinate the daily operations and long-term planning for all departments, monitor and manage department budgets, including direct oversight of the street and water department budgets, develop and implement and enforce departmental policies, procedures, and operational standards, ensure proper management of fixed assets across all departments, hold the water and street superintendents accountable for accurate inventory and reporting of fixed assets within their respective departments, and will be held accountable for producing the fixed assets reports for the cemetery and sanitation departments, manage all aspects of human relations within the Public Works departments, including conflict resolution, personnel development, team building, and communication, exercise disciplinary authority over personnel in all departments, overseen in accordance with city policies and procedures. The street department will maintain sole administrative and operational oversight of the street department. He'll just supervise, the superintendent will answer to him, who will report directly to the mayor and the board of aldermen. He will prepare annual budgets, track expenditures, approve purchasing and payroll activities, oversee all project and maintenance operations, ensuring timely and costly effective completion, manage personnel scheduling and performance evaluation. For the water department, it'll be the same thing. He will supervise the newly appointed water superintendent, who is the former department head. He will provide strategic oversight and review of department operations and projects, ensure coordination and communication between water superintendent and other departments, ensure water superintendent maintains accurate records and all accountability for fixed assets, prepare annual budgets, track expenditures, and approve for the purchasing and payroll, sanitation and cemetery operations. He'll provide oversight and support for sanitation and cemetery operations, ensure sanitation services and cemetery grounds are maintained and efficiently respectful, assist in administrative needs, project planning, and interdepartmental coordination. The project and he'll be over, and he will assist the mayor with project and operational oversight. He'll manage interdepartmental projects. So just like what's going on down with the electric department project right now, he'll be the one coordinating, make sure that all these department heads know, hey, we need you here, we need you there. Ensure all departmental work aligns with city goals, codes, and safety and public safety regulations. Act as a primary contact of contractors, engineers, and consultants related to public projects. Communication and reporting. He will be required to communicate regularly with the mayor and the city administration on departmental issues, performance, and needs. Represent the city as a public meeting, respond to citizens' complaints, and foster community relations. His qualifications will have to be high school or equivalent diploma, associate or bachelor's degree in public administration, civil engineering, construction management would be preferred, but not required. A minimum of 5 years experience in public works or related municipal services, with at least 2 years in supervisory or managerial role. Strong knowledge in street maintenance, sanitation, water systems, and cemetery operations. Demonstrated leadership, organizational, communication, and project management skills. Proficiency in budgeting, personnel supervision, and municipal reporting. Experience managing in human resources, including staff development and team leadership, and he must have a valid driver's license. The working conditions will be office and field environment. The exposure to noise, dust, inclement weather, and heavy equipment. On-call availability for emergencies after hour use. This position answers directly to the mayor of the city of Water Valley. He will be full-time, Monday through Friday, with the flexibility for evenings, weekends, and emergencies. Now, Mike was making $33 an hour, and at a 40-hour work week, that equals about $68,000 a year. That's before overtime. I propose that we have a $70,000 salary, and so that cuts out the overtime, and whoever takes the job, that's just what they'll get. And obviously, this is an equal opportunity employer. This municipality is an equal opportunity employer and encourages all qualified individuals to apply. I know that's a mouthful.
My interest is, if we would have another person on the payroll, would we definitely have another head on the payroll, or could it be some sort of way?
Well, this would just fill. This position would just fill the vacant position of Mike Driver.
So it wouldn't be another position at it? Okay.
No. And whoever wants to apply.
They would prepare the budgets and find the money for the budget.
Do what?
They would prepare the budgets and find money for the budget.
That's correct. That would be their job.
Well, and now.
That's great.
Well, first, okay, what about Willie?
With it.
Willie is, as far as I know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've already been hired as the street department head, correct?
I really am.
No, so you have not been hired as a street department head?
Somebody told me I have gotten the job.
Okay, well then that needs to be discussed too. I thought you were. So.
What's that? Well,
Yeah, Michael made the recommendation. Look, you did a great job during the watermelon.
I think you did a good job.
I mean, so I don't see a problem with that.
But you need to make it where he could be selected.
Absolutely, it's an equal
And
opportunity.
Some sort, I know, but
whoever
the
wants
qualifications, you need to make sure that. How many years have you been with the? How many years have you been with the city?
This time 3 years.
3 years. Well, how many years were you before?
5 years.
Okay, so he got 8 years.
Now, I don't know if he was in the supervisory position. Were you in a supervisory position?
No.
Okay.
So you need to, you could say that, someone that is in a city, well, I don't know. you do that, but I mean, you'd need to, if you wanted him to be considered, you would say that somebody that's been in city.
For the street, well, or we're discussing his position right now.
Yeah.
Correct. And you know, and we can add that if he or anybody wants to apply.
Right. I mean,
so you're speaking as if Willie's is the street department superintendent.
That's correct. There would still
so,
be.
Yeah, he's speaking as if Willie's the street department superintendent already.
I was under
He's not saying that he's the public works director.
You want somebody else on top of that.
Well, now, wait a minute. You talking about having another person on
Yeah,
top
that's
of what we
Grant's
got?
proposal is.
Okay, well now, okay. What we got? Okay.
And
money,
and I won't go too deep into wages, but we do have a pay scale, and as of right now, everybody, as of right now, is making. I'm trying to be as privately as I'm trying to discuss this right now. A department head that is in a non-enterprising department. So police, fire, street makes around $23 to $27 an hour. Okay, from my impression, all that is being paid right now, anyways. And so we've got Mike Scroggins' role, who's vacant, who was making 33, still open that we were going to pay, that we were still paying. So all this is going to even out.
It wouldn't create a new position.
It would change.
It's not a new employee.
No. It would change the title.
More money.
It would change the title of Mike's position.
Yes.
Of Mike's former position.
No, it's not, because if you make Willie the street department superintendent and then a public works department director, that's another position.
Right.
That's another salary.
But Willie's already been paid close to the.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You still got to have a street department superintendent, a water department superintendent,
And that's it.
and that's it.
And,
Okay,
and
then
get
your
a public works
director.
director. Yeah, that's right.
Whereas now you only got a street department superintendent and a water department superintendent. You only got two positions now. So you create another position, unless you're just gonna give Willie the public works director's job. So
Well,
in reality, he's still gonna be doing what he's doing. I mean,
Yeah.
but I see what you're saying. You're saying that this person here needs, the water department and the street department needs to report to this person.
That's correct.
And this person reports to the mayor and the board.
That's correct.
So that will be another person.
well, you
I understand your rationale.
got a lot. He's got a good rationale there. You got.
Yeah,
We're going to have to. Let me say this to you. One thing you need to bear in mind: the property tax collections for Water Valley are less than $1 billion a year. Okay. Now, we've got the electric department. They're not going to support the city, so, and shouldn't. I mean, we're entitled to a certain amount, and I think it'll be worked out so that it can gradually be. Should be. I mean, they shouldn't be supporting the operation of the town.
But if they're talking about cutting back substantially,
There will be I feel that there will be a substantial cutback. So, the revenue, whatever we do, bear in mind that we need to look at that, and we need to get the basic services to the folks, whatever way we do it. Now, ideas are worthy of consideration. I just want us to work out a way that we get everything we do paid for.
Absolutely.
And if we could maybe study it a little bit and come up with something how we can, you know, make sure that we're not increasing revenue, but and just a way to do it. I think not bad. It's not bad. It's very commendable. I'm in my mind. I'm struggling. You know, we're gonna have to do more with less. So, and we got to do basic service. You got to have the fire. You got to have the police. You got to have the street. Well, we're gonna get streets. We're gonna have. You got to. You know, you got to have basic service. So it's a real good concept, a good idea, and you know, and I think we're blessed to have aldermen that having a lot of good ideas, and y'all are having them. It might be something if we want to sort of look at it close in the week, and we can do it at our special meeting. If we can maybe do that, and when we have our street session, and look over it and study it and see what we can afford and what we can do, and make any change we do so that it's within our budget. And Vivian, if it's agreeable, I want us to give a close look at our budget, and you know, we'll have to be in communication with the electric folks about that. And we've got to know, first off, to make a budget, you got to know how much money you got. So
well, that's going to hit us a lick, a big, huge lick that I'm just not too proud of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to just say it. I'm a little annoyed about it.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Very annoyed.
So we're gonna have to. Well, it didn't hit yet. So, but we're gonna have to study carefully what we got. But we'll meet in about 2 weeks if that's agreeable.
You mentioned the tax collection being less than $1 million yearly.
The property tax.
The property tax. And so, what other revenue does the city get? The
city gets revenue off the general sales tax. Now that is not been, what's happening with that is this. Liz, how many days a week do we get Amazon? You know.
Well, I did my part.
Well, what I'm saying, the sales tax is not increasing in municipalities a lot, but very much because people are buying internet. The flip side is we're getting more for streets, so which is, otherwise we wouldn't get it at all. If we hadn't captured it, we wouldn't be getting it at all.
So is the tax revenue generated from sales tax to the municipalities is it significant, over $1 million?
Sales tax, no.
No, it's not.
So the city pays its employees almost $2 million in salary, not counting overtime.
Yeah.
So where is the city getting money to pay its employees, period?
It kind of helped getting that 600,000.
What's that?
It kind of helped getting that 600,000
Yeah,
that
well,
we're
you
now
still
not
gonna
going to
get
get.
some. You still gonna get some of that. Yeah, that 600,000 pays some of it, and
electric department. It's
yeah,
probably finna go
a lot of things
decrease.
A lot of things contributed
And
to
we do shared expenses to them as well, about $9,000 a month.
Yeah. So
It's not like they're just giving us everything and we don't give them nothing.
no, it's everything's got to be a balancing act. But the thing about it, what you need to do when you got to manage something, you gotta be sure you're doing the right thing, and a lot of times something you can afford, but let's look at it and get and make sure that we can come with something. We're gonna have to have a pretty good idea. We're gonna have a working budget session.
Have we set the special meeting?
We hadn't yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And we're gonna do it where I need, if possible, I'd like everyone there.
Yeah.
And now Herbie, is keeping the lights on down there, or keeping it running, so he's got to do that. But, if you don't have any jobs, you certainly don't have much. But at any rate, that's where we are. So folks, if we could, Grant, if it's all right, we can do that and sort of table that until a couple weeks at our special meeting, and then we'll look at our streets and we can do that. Those two things will, I believe, take up, be very good. Now, do y'all want to go into the executive session? You want to do it executive or out public?
We got personnel,
Well, you don't have to, you can. Is there a motion that we have a closed determination for the issue of personnel on the various individuals as stated on the agenda? Is there a motion there is a closed determination, there's motion second. Vivian, what time is it?
It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And then is it the vote at 9:01 is unanimous to go in executive session, is that correct?
Yes.
No. The closed determination passed. Next, there's a motion for executive session at 9:02. You make that motion. Is there a second to that motion? There's motion and second at 9:02. All in favor say aye. Aye. That motion passes, so we're in executive session.
The City of Water Valley monthly board meeting, sponsored by Bank First of Water Valley.
As a hometown bank, Bank First is proud to offer top-notch banking products with perks that support local businesses and people who support their communities. We believe our towns, no matter the size, deserve the best products and the best customer service, an experience we all deserve. We're hometown banking at its best. Do you bank with us? You should.